Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Michelle Morris from Consolidated Planning Group, and today we're going to be talking about educational options beyond high school. So it's a great topic, a lot of interest on this topic. We do record all of our webinars, and if you have registered for this webinar with your email, we will email you the slides and a link to this recording when the webinar is over later on today. Now, if you're on our YouTube channel or you are listening on our podcast, you probably won't get a link to this. You won't be getting the slides in your email, but you can reach out to us directly and we'd be happy to share those with you. My personal email address is here in the chat box, mmorris@cpgcares.net. Or you can call me at 281-407-4087, and I'll make sure that is in the chat box for you. So before we get going, talking about educational options beyond high school, I want to thank and introduce Nicole Crowder for having us today and sharing her audience with us and allowing us to share this information with her audience. So Nicole, can you tell me a little bit about um, yourself and the Parent Resource Center and what you do?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicole Crowder. I am the Special Education Parent Liaison for Conroe ISD. Especially want to thank all of our Conroe ISD parents for joining us today. We are a part of the Parent Resource Center, and what we do is provide resources for the parents that have children with special needs, and we also participate in our community events locally here in the city of the Conroe and the Woodlands and Spring area. So if you are ever needing any resources from the Parent Resource Center, you can always reach us at parentresourcecenter@conroeisd.net. We provide all kind of networking opportunities. We facilitate the parent support groups. We have a snack and chat. There's our monthly support group where parents can come and do some fun activities and learn about specific disabilities and how you can assist your child at home. We also conduct formal and informal presentations. We have parent trainings as well. Our next huge event is going to be our 2025 Transition and Resource Fair. It's going to be held at College Park High School on February the 27th. I encourage everyone to come out. We usually have about 60 vendors there. Social Security office is going to be there signing people up. We have Tri-County attending, signing people up. So if you're available to attend, if you have not received a flyer from your campus, please reach out to us and we'll get that information over to you. Thank you so much, Michelle, for having us and partnering with Conroe ISD as well. It's been a pleasure. And again, like I stated earlier today, this is one of those topics that we get questioned about a lot. So I'm looking forward to this webinar today.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you. So a little bit about Consolidated Planning Group and who we are first. We are a financial planning firm. We are located in just outside of Houston, Texas, in the Sugar Land area. Many of the things that we're going to be talking about today are Texas specific because we're going to be talking about local programs at different colleges and things that your children can do. But there are things that I'm going to be talking about that apply to all states across the country, and we can serve all of the United States. We work all across the country helping families with special needs loved ones. So if you have questions um, and you're from another state, don't hesitate to call me and we can still help you with those. So we do a lot of help with families on things like protection plans, thinking about what is going to happen if the main breadwinner in your family becomes disabled or passes away. How will your family go on and be able to provide the care costs and retirement needs that you have? What about a lifetime care plan? Thinking about your loved one, if they are unable to have their own career or live completely independently, they're going to need your help. So what does that look like, and how much money should you be considering leaving for them? We help a lot with transition planning. There are several big transitions that we all go through, and even more that our loved ones go through if they have some kind of intellectual or developmental disability. Think about, like we're going to be talking about today, what happens when they graduate from high school. You don't want your child to just graduate to the couch. So what else is there? There's also the transition legally when they turn 18 and all of a sudden they are an adult in the eyes of the law. That creates some differences that you need to be aware of. There is that transition period where maybe your loved one is going to move out of your home and into a residential community or a group home of some sort. And then the transition period of your passing, that's going to cause a lot of um, emotional drama in your children's lives. No matter how much you plan for it, it's still going to be a lot. And then the transition that they make into their passing. So there's a lot going on throughout life, and we try to help you plan for all of those things. We help families with the financial part of all of this, and we partner with other community organizations. We partner with attorneys. We partner with local health authorities, um, and many different organizations within the special needs community to be able to tell our clients the right place to go to get all the help that they need, even if we can't be the one to provide that help. But like I said, we do ABLE accounts. We can help you understand your special needs trust, benefits like SSI and SSDI, Medicare and Medicaid, figuring out that future cost of care for your loved one, and then, of course, your own retirement needs. Because in all of this planning, you do need to consider yourself as well and how your own retirement could impact your loved one. We are here to advocate for you and to educate you. And it's very, very important that you find your team of experts, whether that be experts in terms of doctors in the medical field or experts in the legal field who understand what needs to be done to create the correct legal framework. And there are experts in the financial field like us who are experts in working on special needs topics. In the United States, there are over 263,000 financial advisors. But out of those 263,000, not all of them are going to be a good fit for your family because fewer than 200 financial advisors across the United States focus on special needs planning the way that we do. And that's not a lot. There are so many families that need the help navigating these nuanced situations. And we try to provide that help and guidance for you. So, like I said, first and foremost, we are financial advisors. We can help you with um, securities and life insurance and investments, things of that nature, retirement planning, tax and estate planning. We are fully licensed. We are also members of the Special Needs Planning Academy. We are chartered special needs consultants and certified Social Security advisors. So unlike somebody who might just know how to do these things and maybe one or two of their clients fit this description. For us, 90 something percent of our clients have children with some kind of disability. We are truly experts. We do this every single day. We present these webinars multiple times a week to help provide information for you. So, first of all, when it comes to thinking about the future and what is going to happen beyond high school, we want to make sure that you have realistic expectations for your loved one. We are all very used to, unfortunately, comparing ourselves to others, especially in this day and age of social media. People don't post the rough days on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all of that. They post the fun stuff. They post, the highlight reel, so to speak, oh, my child is doing this, my child is going here, my child got into this school. It's all great information, but we don't want you to compare your children to these other children. Nobody is behind, they just are where they are. Some people like to use the analogy of a flower or a plant that you move the flower, you change the soil, you don't blame the flower. I like to use the analogy of popcorn because popcorn is one of my very favorite snacks. And I like to say, you put the popcorn in a pan on the stove. That's how I do mine with the oil. The burner is on. All the kernels are being heated in the same oil, in the same pot, at the same temperature, and at the same time. But those kernels of popcorn never are going to all just pop all at the same time. You have some that start a little early, and then some more come in, and then a lot pop in the same period, not all at the same millisecond, but they all start kind of popping together. And then you have some that trail off and some that pop at the very end. Now, I don't blame those kernels that pop early or pop towards the end. I don't blame those kernels that are left in the bowl that haven't popped yet. I'm not comparing them. It's just different. And that's what we need to think about with our students is that their path might not be the traditional path, but it doesn't make it better or worse. It's just different. So think about things like transition programs, trade schools and community colleges. There maybe a university degree program is going to be fine for your student, or maybe they would prefer something that comes with a certificate or a license rather than taking, a full 4 or more college years of classes. Maybe they do go to college, but they have a reduced course load. Maybe they live at home instead of being on campus, or maybe they're on campus, but they're partnering with organizations that are made to support your student and help them on campus. There are great vocational rehab programs through the Texas Workforce Commission. And you have to think about your child's ideal work settings and career paths. It might be different than what other people want to do. There are registered apprenticeships through the Department of Labor. And there's even a website called Project Search that will help with job placement if your children are still in high school. Project Search is for students who are still in high school. Now, I've put links all throughout this presentation. And I want to let you know that later on today, you will receive an email that has all of these slides and a link to the video. And if you click on these links in the slides, they should work. Please, if any of these links don't work when you receive them later, just drop me a note. You can email me, drop me a quick note, and let me know which link is not working so that I can fix it for future presentations. And please, if you have any questions or comments as we're going through this, I would love for you to go ahead and put that in the chat box. It's the easiest way for me to be able to continue presenting, but also see your questions and comments. So I will not be unmuting anybody for you to speak. You can just put it in the chat, please. So there was a study done by Goldberg that found that out of the study participants, there are 6 traits that students really need in order to succeed. And these are some of the things that we think you can start looking at in your own child before they get to college or college age. And you can kind of help train them on these sorts of things before they're ready to go off to secondary education. And it would be very, very wise to help them with these things and to coach them on things like self-awareness. They need to understand what their strengths and weaknesses are in academic and non-academic areas. So think about, helping your child understand what they do well, what they struggle with, because that will give them, a little warning in their head as they're doing things. Oh, I know this, I'm familiar with this, I do this really well. So I'm going into this with a positive attitude, knowing I can do this. Or on the other hand, hey, I know that I struggle with this and that I'm going to need some extra help. So I might go into it not with a negative feeling, but with a feeling that I already know that this might be frustrating. I know that I might need some extra help. So maybe I'm going to give myself a little bit more patience and grace when I'm doing this. Those kinds of self-awareness activities and teaching your child about themselves is going to be invaluable as they go off to college and beyond. Um, Being proactive. Again, being proactive is very important. Your children are going to need to know, what resources are there on the college campus and what help they might need, and they need to know to ask for help when they need it, not just kind of shut down and try to work through everything on their own. They need to be proactive. They need to think about deadlines and what needs to be done when, and getting out there and getting their feet in the water, taking advantage of what is available to them. Perseverance, that feeling of trying and trying again, even though if it's difficult. And even though maybe the first time it doesn't go as well as you wish it would have, keep trying, change up how you're doing things so that maybe the next time it will work out a little bit better for you. Goal setting. How do you keep track of your goals and your commitments and your assignments? What do you need to accomplish each day and each week and each month, each semester? How do you help your child learn how to do those things? Because a lot of time in high school, they're not teaching these things. They're not teaching their children about self-awareness and being proactive, and this is up to parents to help your children figure out. One thing that the founder of our company often says, Allison, she has two children who have disabilities, and she says that on the way to the doctor's visits, she would talk to her children and coach them on, what are your diagnoses? What are your symptoms? What are you feeling? Talk to her children about that so that when they get into the doctor's office, they can advocate for themselves a little bit more and explain their own needs a little bit more. And that goes with all of this. Number 5, being aware of and using effective social support systems. There's so much more, so much in this tip. Your children need to know that there are support systems out there for them. They need to know who is available, what is available, and how to get those resources. Not only do they need to know that they're out there and know where to go and how to get those resources, but they have to actually take that initiative to do it, to go get help, to realize that those people are there to help you, not to make fun of you, not to be bothered by you. You're not an inconvenience. That's what they're there to do, is to help. And then the word effective. There are plenty of social support systems. Not all of them are effective for every person. Not all of them are effective for any person. So think about what would be effective for your child in terms of support systems. And then those emotional coping strategies. When the waters do get choppy and things get a little rough, does your child have ways to cope with that situation? Maybe it's going out and exercising or playing a sport or reading or playing a game or, punching a pillow. Or for me, one thing that I really love, and maybe this is silly, but I have here on my desk, I don't know if you can see this, all of my colored pens. And I have one of those adult coloring books, not the ones with the curse words, but very intricate swirls to color and little things. And that just helps me shut off my brain and focus on just coloring for a few minutes. And it might be silly, but it really helps calm me down when things are getting really stressful. And your children need to have something like that that is going to help them cope when things get very stressful or emotional. So one thing, beyond practicing these traits with your children, there are other things that will help make that transition to the college level and to the workplace easier. First of all, it is important that you do your homework before your child enrolls in a college or university program. Look into their Office of Disability. Um, Most college campuses have an Office of Disability, and their job is to help students find those supports and resources that they need and to thrive and be successful. Now, not all offices of disability are created equal. We've gotten an email just this week from somebody who found us online, and she says that the Office of Disability at her child's school is just not really doing anything. And then you find some offices of disability that have many people working in them, and they are bustling, and they know how to help, and they're really good at helping families. So you just never know, but it's important to know that before you apply to the school or before you enroll. When it comes to things like your SAT and ACT exams, exams, even college courses and graduate level exams, you can have accommodations. So you need to remember, if your child is going to go to a technical school or a trade school or even a community college, they don't really need to take the SAT or ACT. But if they want to go to a university or a college where they do need to have those scores, you can have accommodations for those tests. You need to contact the College Board or Praxis or, the AP board, whatever organization hosts the exams that you're taking, and find out what are their requirements for accommodations, what they require from you, and be prepared. You know, you want to tell them, hey, this is what we need. This is why we need it. They might ask to see testing, and we always recommend that you have any testing like IQ testing or things that show your child's need for an accommodation. Have those done every 3 to 5 years to keep things fresh and updated. Now, when your child goes to higher education, the IEP and the 504 plan that they had in high school is not going to just transfer over to college. You're going to need to speak with the Office of Disability at the school. Your student is going to need to speak with them. You're going to need some paperwork in place to make sure that they're going to be willing to speak to you as the parent. Uh, that might be a power of attorney or a FERPA. FERPA is the form that the school will need to have to be able to speak to you as a representative of your child. And a power of attorney is always helpful, for any child who goes away to college, really, even if they don't have any kind of disability. Because, for my son, he went away to college in Chicago. He's over 21. He doesn't have, he has a Chicago address now. He doesn't have my information attached to him because he's not a child anymore. So if something were to happen to him, we felt that it was really important to have a power of attorney in place so that I could speak to his doctors. We have a FERPA in place so I could speak to his school. And we have things in place legally, and you should too for any children that you have. Now, when it comes to working and being in the workplace and having accommodations there in the workplace, workplaces are required to provide reasonable accommodations as long as it doesn't produce an undue hardship on the business. So, for example, sure, you can ask a business to put in handrails or a ramp where there are stairs or something like that. Now, can you ask a business that is located on in one building to move their entire business to a different building that might be able to accommodate your child better? No, unfortunately not. You can't, force them to put in a $100,000 elevator system. uh, you can't force undue hardship. Now, what exactly that means and where the line can be drawn is a little bit gray. So you can check out the Department of Labor website for more information about accommodations at work. There's also askjan.org. That is the Job Accommodation Network. If you're curious about what kind of accommodations the workplace needs to make for your individual. And it is important also to help them understand they're not just the rules and responsibilities that they have to follow as a global citizen, but also their rights that they are entitled to, and how other people should be providing and helping them and being responsible towards them. These are all very important topics. Again, I saw somebody click raise a hand. I don't know if that was an accident, but please, if you have a question, feel free to put that into the chat box for me. Now, this page starts a list of some of the educational programs that we are aware of. We don't work for these colleges or these programs. They don't work for us. We don't get any kind of kickback or referral fee for telling you about these programs. We just want you to know that they're out there. Now, these are mostly focused in Texas because, like I said, we started our company here in Texas. And we are expanding throughout the entire United States, and we do have additional lists for other states. So each of these underlined program titles should be links. And again, if they don't work anymore, please let me know so that I can fix them for the future. The Strive program at Alvin, I've heard great things about that. College Living Experience is a nationwide program that can help you find good schools that offer good resources. There's Life Path at Lone Star College. The Metamorphosis program at Lynn University in Boca Raton is real good. We've heard a lot of great things about Aggie Achieve, PATHS, and TUCASA, which are all programs at Texas A&M. But you just need to look into these different programs, look at the schools that are near you, that are affordable, and think about what your student is looking for. What career are they interested in? And do these schools offer studies in their chosen field? University of North Texas has 3 great programs. The University of Oklahoma has a program called Sooner Works. E4 Texas at UT Austin and Lifelong Learning with Friends are great programs. So really check into these programs, look at all of the basic things that you would look at when choosing a college, but keep these things in mind as well. Now, if you are completely lost and you have no idea where to start looking at colleges and schools that might be good for your student, try thinkcollege.net. This is a directory that has listings of over 300 different colleges and universities that offer specific programs for students with intellectual disabilities. So you can filter by what state these programs are in, what type of school, campus living, all of that kind of stuff, just with one link, thinkcollege.net. And that's a great place. They're funded through the Institute for Community Inclusion at UMass. All right, I still don't see any questions, so I'm going to keep going. The next resource that we wanted to talk to you about is the independent educational consultant named Jody Glau. She has a company called Custom College Consulting, and she works with students who have different learning challenges, helping them find their best fit in the post-secondary educational world. She can help talk to you about different colleges, how to apply, the nuances of college applications, all of those types of things. Again, she is not part of Consolidated Planning Group, but we've heard great things. We have vetted her and spoken with her, and we know that she can help you out if you go to custom-college.com. The college living experience, I mentioned this a little bit in that list I was showing you. The college living experience provides more individualized help and guidance. They give you instruction on things like career development and helping with academics, choosing what coursework you want to do, things like that, and what careers might be good for your student. They also help with independent living skills and social development. They can help at many, many different college campuses. You just look up experiencecle.com and they can tell you more about their programs, what schools they are active at, and they can do, I believe, either an in-person or a virtual mentorship program. Bloom Consulting is another company that we work with. They offer a program called Campus Connections. Now, Bloom Consulting also has a nonprofit arm. We haven't really learned too much about that because that's kind of new, but their Campus Connections program is designed to support neurodiverse college students as they attend a post-secondary institution of their choice. Again, this is a program that can be in person, but it's mostly virtual support. They use a wraparound planning process called the Berkman Method Assessment. They help your student build an individualized support team. They pair your student with a coach who is going to help provide mentoring and guidance and navigational support. They help empower your student to problem solve and make better choices and be good self-advocates, kind of those 6 traits that we talked about at the beginning of this webinar. Things like being proactive and making deadlines and persevering and being self-aware. This program does have a cost of about $1,000 per month private pay. Now, if you are working with a VR counselor through the Texas Workforce Commission, their programs might be able to provide a stipend to help you pay for this, if it's within your plan that they put together for you. So again, the contact information is on the bottom for this Campus Connections program through Bloom Consulting. I just mentioned the Texas Workforce Solutions that they can help through their VR program to help provide funding for some of these additional mentorship programs. The Workforce Solutions program, you can call Anna Cluth or Deborah Irwin, depending on your location. And she could help, they help with training and educational scholarships. They will help you look for a high skill, high growth occupation. And if you're interested in pursuing, job training and testing that would help you look for good opportunities, good what you're interested in, how to pay for training, all of that kind of stuff, you can go to their link and they will help you find training for work assistance. They also offer, this is still through the Texas Workforce Commission, they offer vocational skills and interest exploration. You can learn what's hot and what's not in the job market. Uh, Learn about vocational opportunities and what employers are willing maybe to be a little bit more patient with our loved ones, and which ones will provide a little bit more support. They help you find paid and unpaid internships. They can give you tours of job sites, job shadowing, simulated work environments, career mentorship, um, secondary education counseling. They can even help you find financial aid. They can help you with being a team player and a problem solver and communicating effectively. How to use transportation, how to use money and your time responsibly, and how to advocate for yourself understanding your rights and responsibilities and knowing when to ask for help and accommodations. So this is a really, really good program. Now, Texas Workforce Commission is a government entity. They can sometimes get a little bit backed up, but once you get in with them, it is a great program. So please just keep trying when it comes to signing yourself up for services. You can click this link here and that will take you straight to their sign up, or there should be a VR counselor at your child's school that you could talk to. I see a question in the chat box. They're asking, are there specific apprenticeship and technical and trade schools that we recommend? You know, that is such a broad question. There are so many different types of careers and trades and schools. We can't vet all of them. However, some of these other programs can. For example, if you're looking for uh, picking a great school, Jody Glau can help you. If you want to find schools with great mentorship programs, check out College Living Experience. And it depends a lot on what your student needs, what they want to be studying, where they want to be living, and how much money they want to be spending. So let's talk a little bit about funding. First of all, there is the FAFSA. Everybody should fill out the FAFSA every year if you have a child attending any kind of school, whether it be trade school, universities, colleges, any of that. The FAFSA. Even if you think that you wouldn't be able to get any help through them because you make too much money, it doesn't matter. Make sure you fill out the FAFSA because many schools use that information for financial aid supports and scholarships and all of that stuff. So first of all, fill that out. It's really not that hard. Next, scholarships. There are so many great scholarships out there. Now, it's not easy necessarily because there are so many, and you don't want to waste your time on $50 here, $50 there. You want to put together a couple of great essays, a couple of great applications, and apply for high dollar scholarships. There can be scholarships that are related to your community, your schools, your specific diagnosis, sports, music, band, hobbies, even siblings can get scholarships. So we will spend some time talking about some of those, but there's a lot out there. And it's really important that you do your research early. Keep track of when those deadlines are and what criteria they have for their application process. Keep track of when you have submitted your applications and unfortunately, they can all have different deadlines and different application materials that you need to send in. So just do your best and focus on the big ones. Of course, you can use a 529 college savings plan to help you pay for college. You can also use an ABLE account to help pay for college. An ABLE account is a different section of the same 529 tax code that provides for the 529 college savings plan, except this one you are able to use the money for anything that will help your child with a disability achieve a better living experience. So you can put money into the ABLE account that does not necessarily have to only go towards college or educational expenses. And again, vocational rehab, they will put together a plan for you. And if support is in line with the plan that they make for you, they can help you pay for those things. They can even help you pay for education or support services at the school. So I briefly mentioned the ABLE account. Like I said, this is a different section of the 529 code. 529C is for college, 529A is for ABLE. You can set aside up to $100,000 total in an ABLE account without having any effect on your child's SSI or Medicaid benefits. So as long as your child has a disability that started before they turned 26 years old, you can open an ABLE account for them. And at the end of this year, at the end of 2025, they are going to change that age. So if you are beyond age 26, wait until next year to open the ABLE account, and maybe they'll have changed the age by that point. But the way it works is that the beneficiary of the account is the account owner. And you put money in, they typically charge a maintenance fee or something like that. And then the money is invested in mutual funds. Those mutual funds will grow and earn income, and the earned income is not taxed. So that's a nice benefit, in addition to the benefit that Social Security doesn't count it against your child. You can contribute, anybody can contribute to your child's account, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, other relatives, even friends, but you do have to pay attention to the contribution limits because you are only allowed to put in $19,000 for 2025 if your child is not working. If they are working, they can put in a little bit more money, but only up to the amount that they earn at work. So you can put put in an additional 15,000, I think $560. I have that number on the next slide, but you can put in an additional amount if they make that much at work. You can't put it in that much money just because, okay? Again, you can use this account to pay for anything that helps your child achieve a better life. There are over 50 different ABLE account plans across the United States. You can sign yourself up for almost any of them. Most of them say that you don't have to live in their state to use their ABLE account. The one that we use for our clients is through the state of Virginia. There is a website where you can go and compare the different state programs and see which ABLE account features are the best for you, and you can sign yourself up for any of them that you want to. If you want our office to help you, of course, just contact us and we will set you up with one, the one that we use. Now, again, this is for disabled individuals whose disability started before age 26. In 2025, you can put in $19,000 plus up to $15,560 of their gross income if they don't have an employee-sponsored retirement plan. The distributions are not taxable. You earn income that is not taxable. There are no penalties as long as you use this money for your child. You can roll it over to other family members who are eligible, which means that they also have a disability that started before age 26. Now, there is one drawback to the ABLE account, and that is that if there is still money in the ABLE account when your child passes away, Medicaid can come back and claim reimbursement for some of the funds that they have paid on behalf of your child. So let's say throughout your child's life, Medicaid has spent $300,000 helping your child with medical expenses and waiver programs and all of that. When your child passes away, if there's money left over in the ABLE account, Medicaid can say, oh, I see you have $10,000 left there. We've given you 300. So we're going to go ahead and take that 10,000 from you now that you don't need it anymore because you've passed away. And it's going to help pay back some of the expenses that we paid for you and some of the expenses for other people who are on Medicaid. So again, you can use the ABLE account to pay for pretty much anything that your child needs. And that includes basic and daily living expenses, health and wellness, any kind of housing. You can pay for rent or mortgage payments using your ABLE account without getting any reduction to your SSI benefits. Now, that's a big point of difference because if you use your special needs trust to pay for housing while you are still on SSI, that would cause a reduction to your SSI benefits. So it's important that you get that right. And again, we can help you understand that if you have any questions. ABLE accounts can also help pay for taxis and Uber and other kinds of transportation, education and training, job supports, classes to learn new skills, assistive technologies, legal expenses, financial planning expenses, personal support services, anything that you can say, I am spending this money to make my child's life better, you can use the ABLE account to pay for that thing. So, what about scholarships? We talked a little bit about scholarships and about how important it is to keep track. Maybe keep a spreadsheet of all the different scholarships that you apply for and when their deadlines are and what you've sent. Definitely, if your child is adopted through the state, look at the educational scholarships that they have because they have great scholarships for anybody who was adopted through the state or part of the foster care system. Basically, they will pay that student's tuition for them. Also, whatever specialty clinic that your family goes to, maybe it's Texas Children's or Baylor or Memorial Hermann, whatever healthcare group, they often have a list of scholarships. So you might want to check through there. And then we have listed out here many different scholarship searches. Now, these are pretty generic and big scholarship searches that you can use. FastWeb, I've used a lot. Smart Scholar, the College Board scholarship search is a really good one. Keep in mind, what do you have to do and how much of a reward can you get for that work? And can you use the same scholarship essay maybe to apply for various scholarship opportunities? Work smarter, not harder, okay? There is another great full ride scholarship that we know about called the Terry Scholarship. Now, this is just in Texas. Any of the schools in this brownish goldish bubble, you can apply for the Terry Foundation Scholarship at any of these schools. And what's really cool is it will pay full room and board if you need it. And you can use it at any of these schools. But like, let's say that your child is really dreaming of going to Texas Tech. And that is what they want to do. They want to go to Texas Tech. But they get awarded the Terry Scholarship for a full ride at Texas State instead. And they're a little disappointed because they wanted to go to Texas Tech. Well, what they can do is accept the scholarship, go to Texas State for 1 year and then transfer and keep the scholarship as long as they transfer to another school that also has the Terry Scholarship. You must demonstrate leadership potential and character, scholastic record and ability, a financial need. They select their Terry Scholars through an in-person interview process, and they really look for evidence of community leadership, a well-rounded personality, and grit. So what they're looking for is a lot of substantial um, charity work, volunteerism, things like that. Not just I worked once or twice at my church, but a substantial record of volunteerism is what got my friend's daughter a scholarship, a full ride. So in addition to the funding that the scholarship provides, they also get ongoing student success support through university reps and foundation staff. They get alumni networking and cohort-based service opportunities to help them with that ongoing service to the community. The director's information is down here at the bottom. If that's cut off, I'd be happy to send that out, but you can just go to this link for the terryfoundation.org. All right, here's a listing of various different kinds of scholarships. And like I said, there are so many. Any diagnosis that your child has, type that in Google. Epilepsy scholarships, autism scholarships, cystic fibrosis, whatever. Um, there are there are scholarships specifically for students who are hard of hearing or deaf. There are hemophilia. Just go through this list and check some of these things out, but also be prepared to do some research and some homework on your own, looking at some of the scholarships that are available out there. Like I said, think about how can you apply for multiple scholarships with maybe 1 or 2 essays. We do recommend that you get started with this during your students' junior year of high school. Get them writing, get them working on their essays if an essay is needed. There's scholarships for medical scrubs, wheelchairs, a healthcare scholarship fund, schizophrenia. Epic Wheels has a disability-based scholarship. Here's more, and these are just some of the scholarships that we found available for your kids. Now remember, what's going to happen is that you're going to be applying to schools, you're going to be applying for scholarships. When you get accepted to a school, they are going to send you a financial aid award letter. And what people don't often realize is that, that financial aid award letter is going to tell you about government programs that you can enroll in. It's going to talk to you about school scholarships and outside scholarships that they've got record that you're receiving. And they're going to talk to you about, your family's contribution, how much your family should be putting into your child's education. Now, one thing that people don't really talk about and don't really know when it comes to college and paying for college is that when you get your letter of financial aid, some of that stuff is negotiable. You can call the financial aid office and ask for more. You can say things like, we're stuck trying to decide between 2 schools and one of us offered more, but your school is closer. Do you think you can give us a little bit more in our financial aid package to help make us make this decision? Things like that. It's possible. Another thing that is very important for people to remember is that while state schools are typically less expensive, they are also much larger and have way more students, way larger class sizes, and it's harder to get scholarships at state schools because there are so many students, there's so much competition. Whereas with a private school, maybe out of state, maybe in state, doesn't really matter. But with a private school education, people always think, oh, it's just going to be far too expensive. But the thing is, the truth is that with smaller class sizes, smaller campuses, it might be a better fit for your student. And there are generally more scholarship opportunities to where the price of a public school and the price of a private school are going to end up being about equal if you really look into it and if you get some good scholarships from the private school. So think about that. These are some books that you can consider looking into. The Princeton Review has a great book, a campus guide for students with learning disabilities. Colleges That Change Lives is a great book. And then, of course, there's the Fisk Guide to Colleges. Those are all great resources for you. Now, I'm running out of time. If you have any questions, please get them in the chat box and I will get to those. But I just want to let you know that Consolidated Planning Group does these webinars 2-3 times a week, and we are always looking for ways to help you with various topics that should be on your planning radar for the future. Things like the waiver programs and SSI, SSDI, ABLE accounts, special needs trusts, residential communities, legal things like guardianship, and post-high school education. Of course, this link right here will take you to the upcoming webinars tab um, on our website, so you can sign up for more of our upcoming webinars. That way, even if you can't make it to our webinar, you can get the link and the recording and watch it later on our YouTube channel. This is our entire team. And finally, I want to leave you with this. You can use this QR code to schedule your free consultation. You can also call or email me directly and I can set that up for you. My email and cell phone number are again in the chat box, or you can call the office. This free consultation, what we do is we purposely try to answer your questions first, and then we learn a little bit about you and your family, and then we tell you how we work, what packages we offer, what we do, and how we charge. This is completely free, confidential. It's over Zoom, and it usually takes between 30 to 45 minutes. So we will be reaching out to you to see if you would like to schedule your consultation. If you don't want us to call you and reach out to you to see if you want to schedule your consultation, then call us first and go ahead and schedule it. Or just be polite when we do call you and let us know that you're not interested. That there's no harm in that. We've also got links down here for that YouTube channel I've mentioned, our Instagram page, our Facebook, and our podcast series, because we do put many of our webinars out as podcasts as well. Okay, so I don't see any more questions in the chat. So with that, I guess I'll just say thank you very much for spending this hour with me, taking the time to listen. Thank you again to Nicole for being here with us, and the parent support group that you're with, Parent Support Center. Is that right? Yeah.
Parent Resource Center.
Parent Resource Center. I knew it was
Yes.
something like that. Thank you so much for hosting us today, Nicole, and for everybody who joined us. I hope this has been helpful. And please, like I said, do let me know if any of those links need to be updated. Bye now.